With the 2022-2023 NFL season finally complete, it's time for January football. And you know what that means? Playoff time! With our matchups set, I want to take the time and share my predictions for each game, give you key information on how each team can win, and key players that will need to step up in order to get one step closer to Super Bowl 57. Let's start with the NFC, specifically my team, the Minnesota Vikings. How I love them. I have big expectations for them, but let me hold my bias aside and be an accurate analyst for everyone watching. So the number 3 seed Vikings will be facing number 6 seed New York Giants, and call it deja vu because these teams just crossed paths on Christmas Eve in Week 16, where the Vikings won another thriller of a game as Greg Joseph nailed a game-winning 61-yard field goal to win 27-24. But it's playoffs now, so that game doesn't matter anymore. Both teams learned a lot about each other and moved on. In order for the Vikings to win this game, they need to do 5 key things. Now let me elaborate. In the 4 regular season losses the Vikings had, they averaged a total of 5 points in the first half. And as we know, those games did not get any better. In the Dallas game, we fumbled on the first offensive drive. In the Lions loss, we went for it on 4th and 1 on our own 46, didn't pick it up, and gave up a wide open touchdown to Jamison Williams. In the second quarter, we fumbled on Detroit's 3-yard line because we decided to do a little trick play. Bad idea. In the Packers loss, we had a pick 6 in the first quarter, 2 missed field goals in the second quarter, and another interception in the second quarter. And Vikings have a trend this year that once things start going bad, we crumble as a team. I mean badly. Yes, we made the historic comeback against the Colts. Video up there if you want to watch it. But in the playoffs, mistakes are way more costly, and playoff caliber teams will not allow you to come back from a 33-point deficit. Number 2, design quick plays early. What I want out of this is getting the ball to Kirk Cousins' hands quick. Giants blitz more than any team in the NFL. With your right tackle on IR and an injured center, protection schemes will not be as effective as they usually are. People will get home and deliver pressure on a Kirk Cousins. It just happens when he versus the Giants. So we need some fast tight end screens, running back screens, and that cheeky KJ Osborne wide receiver screen, or even quick throws to Justin Jefferson. Let our playmakers make plays and not have Kirk try to be the hero making a comeback once again. Number 3, do not be afraid to blitz. The Vikings are a bottom 10 team when it comes to blitz percentage, and it really hurts them. They do not have the most talented coverage corners in the world, and they are forced to play 10 yards off the ball in the first place, which makes it even harder to cover guys, and the Giants have one of the worst wide receiver cores in the NFL. I would take our cornerbacks winning the one-on-one matchup 70% of the time, so send the house, please. Please, Ed Donatel. Number 4, keep Cook or Hawkinson in to block. This goes to my other points. Giants blitz a lot and run a lot of one-on-one man coverage out of their blitz packages. Justin Jefferson cannot be guarded by the Giants cornerback one-on-one. We saw that in the first matchup, and even if they double him with the chip block and Cook, the owner Osborne will have the opportunity and time to get open. Let our playmakers as our wide receivers create separation and make plays. Finally, spy Daniel Jones on 3rd down. This man is Vanilla Vic, and his most dangerous abilities come from his uncoordinated speed. We need to spy on this man on big 3rd downs. We have to. We saw what he did against the Colts in broken play scenarios. He made them pay for it. The last thing this defense needs is Daniel Jones turning 3 and outs into this long, methodical touchdown drives. It's just something we do not need. And for the key players, I'm going with left guard Ezra Cleveland. He will be tasked with stopping Dexter Lawrence, the Giants' best defensive player by a mile, and a man who has the most pressures out of all nose tackles on the year, and an efficient run stopper. If Cleveland is able to hold off Lawrence without double teams and get some push in the run game, our offense will run a lot smoother. On defense, I'm going with Zadarius Smith. He has been our best defensive player all year, and he needs to be in this game. If he can generate pressure off this suspect offensive line for the Giants, without Daniel Jones escaping the pocket, our defense will thank him for that. He needs to basically do everything. If he can't contain the edge with runs with Barkley as well, we are in for a long game. Now for the New York Giants. If they want to win this game, they need to adjust a couple things from the first matchup. Number 1, cover 1 press blitzes, double teaming Justin Jefferson. Number 2, incorporate more read options and play action plays early. And be aggressive downfield. That's a lot for number 2, I know that. And number 3, feed Saquon Barkley any way you can. I will never tell the Giants to stop blitzing. I love the way they play defense. It's been their bread and butter all year, and it's entertaining as hell to watch. But they do not have any defensive back talented enough to hold Justin Jefferson one-on-one. Even if Adoree Jackson returns, I've watched every Vikings game this year, and Darius Slay was the only true corner who shut down Jettas. Jair Alexander had help over the top, and a scheme derived into stopping Justin Jefferson. I mean, he did good, but like, come on, stop the narrative that he was the main reason he shut Justin Jefferson down. That game ridiculous. And Jeff Okudah had safety over the top for the majority of the game in the first Lions matchup. And if they press Justin Jefferson and then have the lone safety help over the top, it will limit a lot of big plays and be easier for everyone involved. Number 2, let's get mobile. Let's trick the defense. The Vikings defense give up more passing yards than any team and aren't that good in stopping the run either. Let Daniel Jones get out into space and let the defense make mistakes like they have all year and force them into being disciplined players. Make them decide who is getting the ball with options and let them bite on play action. This defense has poor coverage communication. Use plays to misdirect them. It will work. Finally, I think everyone in the world who's a Giants fan will say this and not say enough of it. Feed Barkley. He is your offense. Do not forget that. He should have 20 plus touches in this game minimum. Give him screens, hand the ball off to him, have him line up in a slot, have him be the Wildcat. Just create plays and mismatches where he is making plays and getting the ball. He's a hard guy to bring down in one-on-one, so let him make plays, seriously. For the key players for this game, I'm going with Daniel Jones and Fabian Moreau. This is Daniel Jones' first playoff game and a real opportunity to show the Giants Nation that you are the guy. You haven't done much with the Giants, and a big contract might be on the way if you can go out there and expose the Vikings defense. For Fabian Moreau, he got torched for 78 yards and a touchdown by Jefferson in the first matchup. It will most likely fall on him again to try and stop Jefferson from making the game-winning plays yet again. My final score for this game is 23-21 Minnesota Vikings. In the next matchup, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Did we really expect Tom Brady to not make the playoffs? I mean, the NFC South was on a whole downslide as a division, but they deserve to be here, and I don't know what to expect from this team. On paper, they have performed like a bad team. They are the worst rushing unit in the NFL. Tom Brady is going through a divorce, and their defense just isn't elite like it was the last 2 years prior. And even with all those variables, you still say, it's Tom Brady. He's still the greatest football player of all time. And every time we continue to doubt Brady, he comes back and shows us that we're wrong once again, but I feel like this year's a little bit different. Let's just get into the things they need to do to win. Number 1, establish a running game. In his 6 playoff games with the Buccaneers, Tom Brady is 5-1. When they rush for over 100 yards as a team in the playoffs, they are 4-0. When they rush below 100 yards, they are 1-1. In the game they won against the Packers in the NFC Championship, Brady also had 3 interceptions, something they cannot afford this year. Running the ball is such an essential component to playoff winning football. It is so important to have a run game that is able to chew clock, pick up goal line touchdowns, and short yardage scenarios. I know Brady is Brady and very dangerous in the playoffs, but there is no way in hell he can try and win this game passing the ball 50 times. And against the Dallas Cowboys, their defense is just too good this year, and they have such a dangerous pass rush with Micah Parsons. No es bueno. Number 2, try to limit defensive backs on islands. I think Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield, and Sean Murphy-Bunting are extremely talented, but going up against this wide receiver combo, I don't think will work out. I know in week 1 they locked up CeeDee Lamb, but that was week 1, and the Bucs cornerbacks haven't been as good as they were in previous seasons. They thrive in zone coverage. Their linebackers play phenomenal coverage. If healthy, they have a strong 4-man front with Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks. I mean, just last week, Antoine Winfield got mossed by DJ Moore on a 3rd and 5 for a touchdown in man coverage. T. Higgins ran by Sean Murphy-Bunting for a goal line touchdown. Tyler Boyd got him in a one-on-one situation and won in the goal line again, and that was just in recent weeks. But I have a feeling the Bucs are going to try and explore that same plan of bullying the Cowboys wide receivers up at the line of scrimmage, and I don't know if that will work out with Gallup in there this time and T.Y. Hilton. Number 3, stop with the turnovers. I get it, turnovers are freaking delicious, but the Bucs enjoyed them too much in the biggest games of the season this year. Against the Bengals, they had 4 turnovers in a row on back-to-back drives. And 2 of those turnovers were before they hit their own 30-yard line. In the 49ers game, they had 3. 2 really good teams, and they failed to take care of the ball. Winning the turnover battle is the key to winning any football game. For the key players, I'm going with Lenny Fournette and Vita Vea. If playoff Leonard Fournette returns to form, the Bucs will be a scary team. Playoff Leonard Fournette is different, let me tell you that. 6 touchdowns in 5 playoff games for the Bucs, that's hitting different. Vita Vea, if he returns, will be a key aspect to this defense. Not only is he one of the best run stoppers in the NFL, but his ability to generate pressure from inside is irreplaceable, and it's the hardest pressure for a QB to deal with when a huge DT is screaming in your face. The Dallas Cowboys have one of their best rosters in recent years. Every year fans say it's their year, but honestly, it kind of feels different this year. You got a healthy Dak Prescott playing his best football. CeeDee Lamb is becoming better by the game. Tony Pollard and Zeke are the best backfield duo in the NFL. Their defense has studs at every level and competent coaching from Mike McCarthy. To not repeat the same disaster as they had in Week 1 against the Bucs, here are 3 things they need to do. Number 1, wide receivers need to win their matchups. Number 2, they need to move Parsons around. Number 3, play action. Yeah, get it started early. In Week 1, CeeDee Lamb had an awful game to say the least. He struggled to beat the press man coverage, and when he got open, he dropped it or it wasn't delivered on time. But since then, he has played his best football of his entire career and finished top 10 in receiving yards for the season, but he cannot repeat his same performance if the Cowboys want a chance to win the game. It won't all rely on Lamb this time like it did in the first matchup to get open, so even if he gets clamped up, Michael Gallup and T.Y. Hilton should provide some help, but yeah, Lamb really needs to win his matchup pretty much. Number 2, Parsons got 2 sacks against Brady. He balled out. But now, do it again. Cowboys do a great job in moving Parsons around the defense. As it is, I'm just reinstating the already well-known strategy. Moving Parsons around creates so much easier matchups and switches up the protection and gives Tom Brady something to worry about. And finally, get that play action started early. Dak Prescott, like Kirk Cousins, love his play action rollout plays, and he succeeds in doing so, I would say, even better. On the season, he has 7 touchdowns and 1 interception on play action plays. It opens the Bucs defense up, creates more opportunities to get the run game involved, and with Tony Pollard in the offense, the Bucs will have to worry about 3 different offensive weapons that weren't in Week 1. The key players for the Cowboys in this one gotta be CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. CeeDee Lamb, like I said before, was the main reason they didn't create much offense in the first matchup. With a full season of football already complete, it should go a lot smoother, you think. With Trayvon Diggs, Evans got the better of him in Week 1 with a perfect touchdown fade route. Other than that, Diggs did pretty good. But what can't happen is the big plays. Obviously, Trayvon Diggs isn't CJ Henderson and won't give up 142 yards and multiple touchdowns, but you know Brady will try his favorite target downfield. So it's up to Diggs to hold his own in this matchup. I'm going to go Cowboys 33, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27. In our final NFC matchup, we got the scary 49ers, a team I did a video on and I believe will be the team nobody wants to face. And here are 3 things they need to do in order to win the game. Number 1, everything they've been doing. I did a video on them, so I won't go too much in detail. They've been playing great this year, but they had their worst defensive performance to the Raiders a couple weeks back. And from that game, you saw the 49ers defense make mistakes by themselves. So from that experience, play smarter and don't have 9 penalties for 71 yards. No es bueno. What the Raiders did so well against the 49ers was their star players making plays, simple as that. They mixed in a load of play action and extended plays. Jarrett Stidham played amazing, and only Patrick Mahomes was able to do that as well. So based on those games alone, you need your quarterback to extend plays, not make mistakes, because once that 49ers defense starts creating turnovers, getting sacks, that's when they heat up, and the game gets a lot harder after that. Nick Bosa's biceps just double in size after each sack pretty much, so that is something we don't want happening. Now the 49ers opponent is a very familiar team, a team they actually play 2 times every single year. Divisional rival Seattle Seahawks. They managed to sneak into the playoffs after going 3-5 in their last 8 games. But the Seahawks have another chance to try and beat the 49ers. After losing both regular season matchups without much resistance, and most fans of the NFL believe this game will most likely play out the same way it did in the regular season. But here are the 3 key things that I believe will give the Seahawks the ability to upset the dominant 49ers. Number 1, take big time shots. If you don't watch the Seahawks, let me inform you that Geno Smith is the most efficient deep ball passer in the NFL this season. He has the most 20+ yard touchdown passes. He's tied 3rd for completions downfield, 8th in yards, and 2nd highest completion percentage at 47.6%. Safe to say, he's been throwing dots all over the field. The long ball accuracy has been his most vital component to his resurgence, and he needs to take advantage of that in this game, preferably in play action, where we have Mac protection and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf just running some deep crossers or posts downfield. And if we're being honest here, the 49ers secondary is their weakest link of this defense, and Talanoa Hufanga has been susceptible to getting beat downfield. Number 2, stack the box. Let Brock Purdy beat you. Do not let the 49ers offensive rushing attack dominate this game, because once they do that, it's over. The 49ers ran for a combined 359 yards in their regular season matchups. That's approximately 179.5 yards per game. That's a hell of a lot of yards. I just believe that if the Seahawks stay disciplined to containing the run, Brock Purdy will have to throw more and more likely to make mistakes. Remember, he is still a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game. Mistakes are bound to happen. Make them happen more frequently. And number 3, too high shell man coverage looks. This has been the biggest change on defense this entire year, and the main reason why scoring was so drastically low in the first couple of weeks. Defenses were forcing QBs to drive down the field and limiting the big throws altogether. Brock Purdy is solid under pressure, and the offensive line is smart enough to cover it up, but let's see Purdy against a hard too-high shell look. Let the corners play underneath coverage and be aggressive at the line of scrimmage, knowing they have help over the top. The 49ers offense runs a lot of slants, 10-yard ins, because Debo and Ayuk excel at that. They are very quick, explosive, and great in open field. Take away those throws, and have Purdy try more tight window throws and throw off the timing of the receivers. We saw this happen with Tua a couple times this season. In the Chargers game, they had a depleted secondary, and they implemented the same strategy I'm talking about, and it threw Tua off completely. I mean, look at his first half stats. For this NFC matchup, I'm going with the dogs here. A big underdog in the Seahawks, and I'm going to tell you why. The last rookie quarterback to win a playoff game was in 2013, Russell Wilson on the Seahawks. He played against fellow rookie RG3. The 49ers beat the Rams in both regular season matchups last year and then lost in the playoffs. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, and I think Pete Carroll's too good of a coach to let it happen. Now, those are my playoff predictions for the NFC matchups, and if you enjoyed, please share, like, follow, subscribe, whatever the hell it is, because I enjoy making these videos, and I love when it gets the attention they deserve. 10,000 views on this video, and I will make a part 2, as in the second round of playoffs, to give you my matchups, my predictions, my views on how it will go down. So if you want that, you know what to do. Till next time, Sports Nerd Marty is out.